What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. We have a game to preview. The New York Jets are taking on the Atlanta Falcons at MetLife Stadium. Can the New York Jets get back on track? I'm unsure. It's the 4-7 Jets against the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons. Those 5-6 Atlanta Falcons, by the way, are leading the NFC South. That division stinks. It's really, really bad, which is unfortunate. So let's go through the rankings. I'm switching back to DVOA. If you're an OG, you remember that I used to do DVOA and then I switched to kind of just Pro Football Reference. But I want to go back to DVOA because I think it does a better job of showing where these teams are. The Jets offensively 32nd last in the NFL in DVOA, 4th in defensive DVOA. So it shows you just how wide the range is between these two. The Falcons 23rd in offensive DVOA and 27th in defensive DVOA. So Tim Boyle is starting again for the New York Jets. Second time he gets a start. It did not go very well the first time against the Miami Dolphins. He completed 71.1% of his passes. That's a plus, 27-38. But he threw for only 179 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. His ADOT, or average depth of target, was 4.3 yards. Check down Charlie is probably, that's not an appropriate description. That is very offensive to check down Charlie quarterbacks, because whatever Tim Boyle was, it was less than that. It was a check down Super Charlie. He started 4 games so far in his NFL career. This will be his 5th start. In those 4 starts, he has thrown 2 or more interceptions 3 times. He has thrown an interception in every single start that he's made. He is going to turn the ball over. That's what he does. Tim Boyle turns it over. Zach Wilson turns it over. Trevor Siemian, we don't know. We don't know what it will be. But they're running it back with Tim Boyle. Maybe a short leash for him. We'll see what the Jets decide to do. Because, again, they are starting him and they are keeping the structure the same. So it will be Trevor Siemian as QB2, Zach Wilson as QB3, the emergency quarterback. All right, when you look at the opposing quarterback on the Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder is starting. He was benched and then inserted back into the lineup. He has 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in 9 starts this season. He's throwing for 190.8 yards per game. He is not a good quarterback. He is someone who is also prone to turning the ball over. He had 2 picks in the game against the Saints, and I think the Jets are going to be able to confuse this young man who doesn't have a ton of starting experience under his belt. I don't see it going well for him against this New York Jets defense. Like always, this is going to be a conversation about if the Jets offense could do anything, because if they can, they probably should win this game. But will they? We don't know. My fear is that it'll be a very similar game to the Vegas Raiders, where defense does its job for the most part, gives up 16 points, something around there, but the offense doesn't do enough. So that's my fear. I don't want that to be the case. I would like the Jets to win football games, but anyway. The Falcons do have some pretty good young weapons, though, on this team. How they utilize them is not ideal. I mean, Arthur Smith hired the same coaching cycle as Robert Saleh. I don't think he's done a good job of getting the most out of his talented young players. You have Bijan Robinson, the rookie running back out of Texas, Kyle Pitts, who they have not really gotten going, and Drake London. Those are 3 young, talented players. You have Kyle Pitts was drafted, 2 years ago in 2021. Then you have London in 2022, and then you have Bijan in 2023. They have weapons. They don't have a good quarterback to distribute, nor do I think they have a good coach to scheme up good offense, which is strange because he had success, Arthur Smith did, in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill, but they are really, again, not doing the best of jobs to get the balls into their playmakers' hands, but those are guys who have the talent to beat you. So that is something that you're going to have to take into account in this game. Is this the game where we will finally see Breece Hall bounce back? That is my question, because Hall has been under 4 yards a carry in 6 straight games. He has been very productive as a receiver. The run game has really struggled, especially since they lost AVT. Elijah Vera Tucker is a huge piece on that offensive line, and there is a really, really big difference when he is out there on the field versus when he is not out there on the field. And in the run game specifically, because They just cannot move the football, which is, again, unfortunate. But on the run game, that's the Breece Hall's bread and butter. That's what the Jets want to do. They want to be a run-first team, but they are struggling to do that consistently right now. And we'll see if this is an opportunity for Breece Hall to bounce back against a very okay defense. They, right now, I said 27th in defensive DVOA. I don't think they are horrible. They have some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, but they're not an elite unit. They're a fine, probably passable, mediocre defense. So let's get into some stat predictions and then score predictions for this game. Boyle, I'm going to say something like 21 to 35, 60% completion percentage, a touchdown, 2 picks, 179 yards, 59.1 passer rating, something very similar to what he did against Miami. I don't think we're going to see much change. I think he is what he is at this point in his career. As for Desmond Ridder, I think he is going to struggle against this Jets defense. He'll go 17 to 30 for 56.7 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 165 yards, 55.6 rating. And Breece Hall gets 4 yards of carry in this game, 12 carries, 48 yards, no touchdowns. Let's get into the score predictions in this game. I was on the Dolphins minus 9.5 last week. They obviously hit. The spread in this game is 2.5 points. The Falcons are favored on the road against this New York Jets team. That's disgraceful that it's come to this, but I don't know how you don't pick the Falcons. I don't have any faith in the New York Jets offense at all. I don't. I have zero faith in Tim Boyle. I have zero faith in Nathaniel Hackett. I have zero faith in the playmakers outside of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Falcons minus 2.5. I'm going to say the Falcons win 16 to 10. 3-7-1 against the spread, picking the Jets. That is disgusting. Still over 500 on the season, but picking the Jets has been a struggle. Let's see who Casey likes in this game. Casey is also on those Atlanta Falcons. She is 5-1, so she is league average. She is 500. She is good. She's just pick the away teams for pretty much every time, and apparently you'll cover about half. So that's going to do it for me on this one. Not crazy looking forward to this one, but I want to hear your thoughts on this game down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.